Hey, what's up everybody, Nexel here. Today we are playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, finishing up part 3 of our July 8th updates, where we talk about everything that they threw on us for the July 8th weekly update. So we already talked about the 10 million downloads, events, and campaign notice. That's a very, very important thing to go over. Definitely check out that video if you haven't already. We already talked about the special falling price deal and did our one pull. Again, it's another video that we already did. So we're going to use this video to talk about the rest of the stuff, starting with arguably the most important thing, the craziest, probably the best weekly jewel extravaganza we've ever gotten in the history of this game within the past 3 years. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this notice here, and I'm going to tell you why this one, if you buy VIP, why this is the one that you should really consider buying. So to start off, we have in big, giant orange letters, to celebrate 10 million downloads worldwide, we have prepared a special weekly jewels extravaganza. Other than the usual 1400 jewels, you will be able to get the new Attack Boost 10 Max skill, a total of 90 gems across Magic Speed and Power Gems, and the new Supernova Plus Kingdom Hearts 3 Aqua. Be sure to use this opportunity to strengthen your medals. So what we're going to do is we are going to go through each single thing. I'm going to assign it sort of like a jewel's value, and then at the very end, I'm going to tell you the total jewel value of this week's weekly jewel extravaganza. So the first thing is Supernova Plus Kingdom Hearts 3 Aqua. You are getting a automatic Supernova Plus medal, so no Tier 9 dual Meow Wows involved. This one is a meta-defining medal that gives every magic medal after it plus 1,500 additional strength, which is honestly game-breaking, because remember that in today's format, having high levels of strength is what's going to get you past the really hard content. It gets you past the expert level content in the event. It gets you higher in PvP. It gets you higher in PvE. So in a good VIP, we are getting a medal that is meta-defining, that is able to crack the higher levels of difficult content, and you're getting that within the weekly jewel extravaganza. So when you think about a medal like this, usually when it comes to like a meta-defining medal, they are usually putting it in a non-mercy banner or like a 10 mercy banner. I'm gonna be nice sort of and say that this would normally be put in a 5 mercy banner, so 3,000 jewels. You'd have to pull 5 times. You're not getting the additional stuff, so you're not getting trait medals, you're not getting VIP coins, you're not getting magic mirrors, you're not getting additional medals. So we're gonna dampen that down from a total value of 15,000 jewels to 10,000 jewels, because when you think about a medal like this, a lot of people would buy into it. A lot of people would spend jewels to get a medal that defines the meta, and this is definitely among them, along with the Kyrie B that's out right now and the Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion. Those are very good meta-defining medals. But this is including VIP. We're only talking about this one. I'm going to give it a jewel total of 10,000 jewels because this is a really good medal that's already Supernova Plus, and it's included within the weekly jewel extravaganza. So we have a meta-defining medal. That is one thing. We are going to add 10,000 jewels to the pot for that. The next thing is the fireworks avatar parts and 1,400 jewels. So I'm not going to give the fireworks avatar parts any jewel value whatsoever. You can get avatar parts from a lot of things. You can get them from Union Cross, you can get them from quests, you can get them from just additional things, like even just random presents are usually in the form of avatar parts. So I'm not even going to give it any jewel value because normally people don't buy avatars in order to get the parts unless it's something sentimental, but I think in this case not worth any jewels. But you are getting the additional 1,400 jewels on top of the 3,000, or I'm sorry, let me just make it all simple. You're getting an additional 1,400 jewels on top of the 3,000 jewels that you're getting normally. So we're going to add 4,400 jewels to the pot of how much this weekly jewel extravaganza is worth. So between those two things, we're at 14,400 jewels. The next thing is going to be the Pirate Hat, Pirate Eye Patch, and Pirate Mustache Spirit parts. Now, back in the day, there was a banner where you actually pulled and you got Spirit parts. And back then, it was 500 jewels per. So I'm going to dampen that down just a little bit. We're going to say it's 750 jewels for the entire set. So after this, it's just a nice little cool additional update. As far as I know, Spirit parts or Spirit avatar parts do not give you any sort of perk like skill perk. It doesn't give you critical hit perk, doesn't give you rare item plus perk. So we're just going to keep it at 750 jewels for the whole set, bringing us up to 15,150 jewels in value. The next thing is Attack Boost 10 Max, which is currently the best Attack Boost Max right now being at level 10. It does not come with like that gauge lowering SP, but that's okay because a medal like Supernova Kingdom Hearts 3 Aqua only costs 1 gauge. So if you have the Kingdom Hearts 3 Aqua, which you're guaranteed to get from this, if you're in possession of the Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi B or Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion, it's costing 0 gauges, so that's also a good skill to put on it. Attack boost 10 max. And when you think about a skill that's pretty much up to today's standards, you think about it being put in an avatar board. And in avatar boards, you get a bunch of stuff, but I usually value the skills at 700 jewels a piece. So we're adding 700 more jewels into our total value of this weekly jewel extravaganza, bringing us up to 15,850 jewels so far. Now we move on to what is arguably the moneymaker of this weekly jewel extravaganza. This is a solid reason why you should buy the weekly jewel extravaganza alone, is the fact that you are getting all 3 gems times 30. So you are getting 30 power gems, you're getting 30 magic gems, and you're getting 30 speed gems. That is enough gems to bring up the counterpoint, the Fenrir, and the Sleeping Lion to level 35. If you have the Electrum ore, it brings them up to 35, and then you still have 10 additional gems after that. That is ridiculous. So when we think about the monetary value of this, we're going to go ahead and check out the enhancement sets. So these enhancement sets, you can get them once a month, and then you can get a follow-up board after it. So technically twice a month you can get these. It's 3,500 jewels for each board, and you're getting 20 gems. So when you crunch out the math for that, it is going to be, again, 3,500 jewels divided by 20 gems. It is 175 jewels per gem with this enhancement set. Now we go back to the notice of the weekly jewel extravaganza. We're getting 90 total gems, so you have to multiply that 175 times 90. That is a 15,750 jewel value right there, and that is ridiculous. You have to work really hard to get gems normally. You only get like 5 if you're in the top 10 for a deluxe rating week. You only get like it used to be different because high score challenges used to be different, but now you can get up to 30 for ranking really high in the high score challenge, and that's like talking about the top 100. So if you're not top 100, if it's hard for you to get there, the weekly jewel extravaganza is essentially bam, right there, 30 gems right off the bat. So we are going to add that 15,750 jewel worth to our current total of 31,600 jewels in this value right here, and that's just ridiculous. Like, that is half the value of the weekly jewel extravaganza right there in that one little bit. So that's ridiculous. I think it's honestly sort of unfair to free-to-play players because this is just super easily accessible for VIP players. It's hard for any player to normally earn 30 of each gem, so to have it just included in this is definitely making this a special weekly jewel extravaganza. All right, moving on to the next part, we have farmable quests. And for those who don't really pay attention, farmable quests where you can get farmable HDLs, farmable Fantasia Mickey A's to evolve into Fantasia Mickey B's, farmable Chips and Dales, it's ridiculous because those resources are just so useful. You run through them like water sometimes. So like my free-to-play account no longer has any HDLs left to give. It doesn't have a bunch of Chips and Dales, and it's like if you're VIP, you get all that stuff as a farmable quest. I definitely think this quest belongs to everyone. I don't think it should just be a weekly jewel extravaganza thing, but the fact that it's in here adds to the total value of the weekly jewel extravaganza. However, I am not going to give it any jewel value because you could technically earn these resources very easily. Yes, it's nice that you can farm it. That's probably the best part about it. But if you're smart and you save, you could technically have the same amount if you're just a good player. So I'm not going to give any jewel allocation to the farmable quest and not to the 7 magic rooms and 7 magic mirrors, because again, they're super easy to come by. You can earn them. You can do just the weekly raid, and I'm pretty sure you almost get the same amount of stuff. So I'm not going to give any jewel allocations to these 3 parts right here. The next thing we're going to give jewels to is going to be the 3 tier 9 dual Meow-Wows, because these are hard to come by. There used to be a board where you paid 3,000 jewels to get 3 of these, so that's what I'm going to give for the allocation for the jewels. But Tier 9 dual Meows are hard to come by. You have to rank high in PvP consistently in order to have enough just to update all your Tier 9s into Supernova Plus. So I'm going to give this 3,000 jewels in terms of the value. And then I'm not going to give anything to those blue fairies, because again, blue fairies you can earn just by playing Coliseum, and they're in a surplus right now. Like, a lot of people have an excess amount of any of the blue fairies right now. So that is the weekly jewel extravaganza, and that brings us, I said that really weirdly because I'm like, oh shoot, I said the wrong word. But that brings us up to a total of 34,600 jewels of value. Now let's go to the shop and look at the prices. Look at that. So $100 nets you, in this case, 16,000 jewels. So we will divide that 34,600 by 16,000, because that's how much you're getting for $100. And then we multiply that times 100. So this jewel extravaganza, this weekly jewel extravaganza, in my opinion, is worth $216.25. That's insane. That's broken. I think it's crazy. I think last week I said save for buying the Aqua until you found a weekly jewel extravaganza that was worth it. This one is worth it. This one is ridiculous. If you're a new player, this is just going to accelerate you to a point where you have multiple shiny keyblades, which is just the necessary standard for today's stuff. It's going to give you a really good medal. It's going to give you a really good skill. Farmable quests. If you're a new player, this is the weekly jewel extravaganza for you if you already intend to pay money. Now, do I think this is a weekly jewel extravaganza so good that you should buy it if you're free to play? Probably not. To be honest, if you're a free to play player, you're happy, and you don't want to spend any money, stay that way. Because once you start buying VIP, you kind of consider it an option every single time, and it leads to this really bad spiral of saying, well, I could spend money here. But if you're free to play, stay dedicated, stay strong. For the most part, minus the Aqua and the skill, a lot of the stuff you can get over time. So you can get chips over time, you can get Huey, Dewey, Louie's over time. The Aqua medal eventually is going to fall out of favor. So yes, it's a broken VIP, but if you're free to play, you don't spend any money normally, you can honestly skip it. In my personal opinion, like, it's game breaking. It's going to help you bring you to like a really high level tier if you use the resources wisely and if you allocate them properly, but I don't think it's worth breaking your free-to-play just to purchase it, in my personal opinion. But that's just me. Other people will say otherwise. I know for sure that this is definitely a good deal, and other people are going to say, you know, 15 bucks once in a while isn't going to hurt you, and that's right, but stick with your gut, do what makes you happy. If spending real money makes you sad, don't do it. It's just not worth it. It's just a mobile game. It's just a microtransaction game. But if you do buy VIP normally, if you buy it every once in a while, this is the time to buy it, in my personal opinion. Alright, so that was the big chunk of it. We're going to go ahead and just race through the rest of the stuff. So we have a Radiance Rewards raid event, and remember that in this week, the avatar boards that come with the raid quest come with jewels. Not many, I think it's only 300, but raiding in this case nets you free jewels, which is really good. So let's hop in here, let's check the quest out, and then go to the raid boards, and then check out this one. So you're going to get 100, 200, 300 jewels just from raiding, and then it also increases your Lux rank. If you rank high enough, you're getting some gems. So this is a really solid week to raid if that's something you do normally, because you're going to get jewels and you're going to get free stuff if you rank high enough. So put on those Lux++ skills, borrow those Lux++ skills, and then just race through the raids as much as you can. So speaking of the raids, let's go ahead and talk about the solo and party rankings here. So in this particular one, you are able to get draw tickets. And remember from the last video, draw tickets are free tickets that can become anything. So you can get a Supernova medal from them, you can get a Riku and Moogle, which is worth 500 jewels. You can get a lot of stuff from the draw tickets, and they're free. And there's nothing wrong with free stuff. If you don't like what you get, just sell it. It's not like you spent money to get that free medal. So no skin loss, no money paid, and it's just good stuff. It's always good to get free stuff in this game. And then if you rank high enough, you're going to get the Sora little plushie on the shoulder, which is actually pretty cute. We got the spirit part as the spirit mission. So if we go here, I already got it, so it's going to show it's unlocked. But the Sora Ornament A is the corresponding spirit part for the pet. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't take a lot, honestly. Join a party or something, have the Lux button pushed. It doesn't take a lot to get the part. It's usually like the top, what is it, 300 parties? Check in-game for more details. Come on, just give us the heads up. Like, why do you have to like make us navigate through more menus in order to get it? Does it actually tell us? Okay, so we'll have to probably just go to the ranking. Let's go ahead and check it out and talk about it. My gosh, I spent a lot of time talking about that weekly jewel extravaganza. It's just that important to go over it. All right, so let's go here. Let's check out our rankings. So here is the shakedown. So top 5 are going to get 50 draw tickets, the 5 gems, and the title. The 6th to 25th place, again, 10. So it's all the way down to, so top 100 are getting 10. And then the title, and then 6th to 100th place is getting 4 power gems. And just here's the rest of it for you to just peruse. So you have to be in the top 1,000 in order to get draw tickets. It's honestly not too hard if you dedicate the time. If you're using Lux++, if you're in a party that uses the Lux boost, it's really not that hard to rank within the top 1,000. There's less than 1,000 super active players in the game usually. So if we go to the party one, switch to party, and then let's check out the ranking. So if you're in the top 2,000 parties, which is really not that hard to accomplish if you're in any party, you're going to get that Sora Ornament part. So it's pretty easy to get that one. If you're a solo player, just hop in a group for a little bit and then just jump out at the end of it if you want. If you want to stay with the party, that's cool. But it's a pretty easy part to get. All right, this special event right here, I think it's just the kind of event you just play it, you get free tickets, and then you're good to spend them. So nothing particularly crazy here. I'm going to check it out in a bit to see if it's an actual hard quest, but I don't really expect it to be. So if we go to the quests, it should kind of just show us the level of the enemy, and based off of that, we can honestly just take a guess if it's a hard mission or not. So we will go here. The enemy's only level 100. Honestly, it's free draw tickets. Free draw tickets makes free medals. Free medals could be really, really good. So simple event there. White Hedge Star spirit parts. So this should be, again, another easy quest where we get the Hedge Star, which is really cool. I kind of wish it was blue, because then I would name my spirit Sonic. That'd actually be really funny. But I haven't done the quest yet. I might do a stream with this, the Hades Cup, everything all in one in order to kind of showcase it. But you have like 10 days to do it, so just make sure you do it. It shouldn't be a hard quest. We have the Boo Snuggly Union Cross, and I kind of like this. They're changing the format of Union Cross missions where it's a new Union Cross every week, and that's good because for the party missions, one of the requirements is that you do a certain number of Union Cross quests. So sometimes they do this thing where a Union Cross mission lasts 2 weeks, and then it's like you finish all of the boards within the first week. What's the incentive to do it the second week? Well, the incentive is to get these jewels here. But having a different Union Cross quest every week makes it a little bit easier, incentivizes us a little bit more to play Union Cross during every single week. So really cool stuff. And honestly, that's about it as far as I know. Let's go ahead and peruse the notices one last time to make sure we talked about everything. And yeah, the Hades Cup, I talked about it a little bit. You can get up to 6,000 jewels from it, but remember that the only quests that give it, I believe, are Quest 10, which gives you 1,000 jewels, and Quest 15, which gives you, actually, it actually shows us right here. Round 10 gives you 10,000 or 1,000 jewels, and then round 15 gives you 5,000 jewels. So just keep that in mind that you can get up to 6,000 jewels, but if you can't pass the quest, you're not getting any jewels from it. So just keep that in mind. I'll probably do a stream of me doing the Hades Cup, and then we will go from there. So with that being said, that goes over all the notices from July 8th. Please take it all to heart, kind of figure out what your game strategy is, take the advice to heart. Let me know if you have any questions. But that is the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, if there are any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer when I have the time. But as always, everyone, until next time, take it easy.